Welcome back to this episode, and of course this time around we want to talk about something that is one of the most drastic ways in which we lose our loved ones. Today we want to talk about hypersensitivity. Is it high blood pressure? Yes, high blood pressure. You can call it, other people just say I have pressure, others basinga muchitegera nti omuntu ajja kugamba mama wange alina pressure, tata wange alina pressure, yafudde pressure. We kind of hear these things a lot, and the one thing that is connected to high blood pressure is that they will tell you high blood pressure is like HIV/AIDS, high blood pressure is like this other disease whereby you need to have constant medication. Is there a way that we can live without this medication? Day in, day out. Is there any other way that you can manage it while pressure? If for you who is watching me right now that has high blood pressure, is there another way you can live a happy life and you're not worried about when I get too angry, when I get too happy, when someone pisses me off, I need to control myself? Is there a way we can live with some of these diseases? Is there a way we can help someone living with them? You know what? I have Christine today. She is one of the people that has lived with high blood pressure for a very long time. And of course, I have our consultant, Cathy, who will be also talking to us. How many people has she received that have high blood pressure, and how has she managed to handle them? And what is that one thing or two things or three things these people need to avoid? Why not your mutu? I'm talking to you who has a friend who has heard about someone who has high blood pressure. This is the episode you need to dedicate to them, or holler at them and tell them to watch it, because it's going to be, I believe it's going to be interesting. Hi, Christine.
Hi, Kamu.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. Hi, Cathy.
Hi. Thank you.
Of course, I'm going to run down to Christine. Tell us, how long have you lived with high blood pressure?
It's now 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah.
The first time you got to know about this, how did you get to know that you had pressure?
That was last year around July.
Wow.
Yeah, that's when I've lived with it for 3 years. But getting to know this is pressure that has been tormenting me for the last like 1.5 years. That was last year around July.
Are you serious?
Yes, because before that I used to get the same attack, and I didn't know I could call it chest pain. I could get dizzy. I could find myself getting weak and I can't talk. I'm just there helpless. And I could maybe think maybe something is not right with me. Maybe it's a spiritual thing. Little did I know it was the heart having a problem. So in the month of July, I remember that time I'd started working with Dynapharm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I got numbness for a week.
Where are the arms?
On my left hand side, especially on the hands and the legs, and I could feel muscle pull. So I went to the clinic just near my home to find out what was wrong. They checked malaria, I was okay. They checked typhoid, I was okay. And the lady told me, you have no problem. Maybe it's psychological. So I took it, maybe it is psychological. So one day, it was a Saturday around 10. I love praying, singing and so on. So we were singing, worshiping. And I don't know what really happened. I felt a strong stab on the left, and that's how I became paralyzed. One side I went like this. So they rushed me to Mulago Heart Institute, and they said I had got a mild stroke. That was caused by pressure. And the pressure was so high. That day it was around 182/140. So they gave me treatment. After a week, I was still paralyzed. This hand could not move. The neck I could not twist. I had a lot of pain around the throat. Even talking was a problem. It's painful. I could get something like something is biting me inside the bone, especially the side that was paralyzed. Indeed, those who have stroke, they have a lot of pain, but sometimes they can't even explain because they can't talk. So I told my daughter, since I had started In fact, I was still taking training on the herbal products of Dynapharm.
Wait, you have on to tell speed. I was already getting involved into her story. The Christine tells us she got to know she had high blood pressure after 1.5 years. Yeah, and this is after actually getting a serious attack that needed her to be rushed to a main hospital. We have a lot of people out there, and you are treating something that you actually do not know. Cathy, could you please talk to us and tell us how, you're someone who is watching, what are those things that you could put a question mark on that someone out there could be having and they are treating it totally differently, which might be high blood pressure? Or please expand about high blood pressure.
Well, high blood pressure, health-wise or scientifically, it's known as hypertension. High blood pressure is when the force that blood exerts on the artery walls. Why the artery walls? Because arteries carry oxygenated blood from the heart. So arteries are carrying blood to all the body organs. That is why the pressure rises, because these body organs are in demand. That is why the force is on the artery walls. So what happens is that when this force is too high, some people will get stroke, like what she got. That is why most people will,
When we were kickstarting today's episode, I talked about we've had cases of people and they find them dead. They were in their bed sleeping, and then they pass on. Entebbe. So we've had cases of people who are in their cars and they park aside, and you find someone has already moved on to the other life, because these things actually happen. Is it true that someone can live their life and they actually have hypertension or high blood pressure and they actually live a normal life and they never get these attacks?
Yes. For one thing we should know about high blood pressure is that it cannot be contracted when you get high blood pressure from just lifestyle. So that is why your mother can have high blood pressure but you don't have it. Your boyfriend can have high blood pressure but you don't have it. So how you live your life is what really matters. So people can have high blood pressure for years and they live even longer than you, who is okay. No, it's hard not to know. It's really hard because once in a while you're going to get episodes. For example, when you're stressed at work, or maybe you've lost a loved one and the emotions are so high, or maybe money, financial, crisis. Exactly. So at least at one point, believe me, you will know that something is not okay.
Cathy, I need to know, is high blood pressure actually genetic? I've had people saying, those kind of statements. Has it been proven to be genetic?
No, it has not been proven, but most scientists think it is genetic because at least in your family, lineage, you have to find someone that has high blood pressure. But I, as a scientist, I don't think it's genetic because it is how you live your life, that determines what your future will be.
Are you trying to tell us we should stop being worried because if you're worried or if you're stressed, you're going to get high blood pressure?
Worrying is part and parcel of life. I mean, you have to worry at some point.
And at some point, I'm going to get stressed, or I'm going to get really angry, or I'm going to be too happy.
But the thing is, how often do you find yourself in these situations? It's what matters. If these situations are occurring then as in every now and then, definitely you will. But if you're getting stressed today and maybe after 2 months, 3 months it comes back, definitely that's normal. I mean, we have been in lockdown, things have been tough, but not everyone complains that they have, high blood pressure.
Something just triggered my mind and I'm thinking, we have people who are stressed for a very long time. I do not remember ever meeting a street, these people who be begging on the streets and they have high blood pressure. I was talking to some friends before and someone was telling me, is on what days gaga. Because you'll not find a madman who has pressure. You will not find a woman on the street and she'll tell you she has pressure. And yet these are the people that I would think have the highest levels of stress.
No, maybe with having money comes so many situations. But no, that is just a myth that people,
That's just diabetes, pressure. allergies and those
Ulcers.
yeah, ulcers. Ezo ndwadde z'abalenzi nga nsiba enjala and I don't get ulcers. We have all these mentalities, but today we need to stick to hypertension, that is high blood pressure. I think I will run back to Christina Berenga Tuburia. So when do you actually start using Dynapharm products? Did you first try the other medications? Because I am told that when someone actually has high blood pressure, they need to at least take a tablet a day or something.
Yeah, it depends on what your doctor has given you. I remember that time I was taking 3 types of medicine.
A day?
Yeah, twice a day, in the morning and in the evening. So when I told my daughter, I think you need to take me to Dynapharm. I go and see a doctor there. Maybe they add me something on top of this because the pressure was not going down.
But by this time you're already working with Dynapharm?
Yes, when I got that thing, I was already working with Dynapharm, but I'd never tried to take their medicine. I'd never tried to take any of the supplements.
And you were working with them as well?
And I was selling it so much because every month I could hit a target. But I'd never tried, not even liquid chlorophyll.
Jesus is Lord. Okay.
So, when I came with my daughter, we went and met the consultant. He checked and the pressure was so high. Then he's like, okay, I'm giving you liquid chlorophyll. I'm giving you ye ginkgo, ye garlic. I walked back to my house and I thank God that I sat on the balcony and I told my kid, let me take this medicine of Dynapharm before I take the one of Mulago Hospital. But remember, I had taken the medical thing from Mulago in the morning. So immediately I took liquid chlorophyll, ye garlic and ye ginkgo. The pressure that had disturbed me for long is not going down. It is constant, 182/140. It just went down. I realized something was not right with me. There and then within like 10 minutes. Then I told my son, I think you need to take me to the clinic. Yupo, let's go. I'm not fine. So we walked to the clinic. Little did I know the pressure had gone down. It was now 60/40. Meaning if I was to take and go to bed, I don't know what would happen. So when I reached the doctor is like...
Cathy, people out there need to know. There is someone out there that doesn't even know what their normal blood pressure is supposed to be like. Because I'm hearing 60/40, then I'm hearing 100, over 100 something. What is it supposed to be when it's normal?
140/90.
140/90.
Yes. Something that is between, because you know we have ranges.
Yeah.
Our bodies can't be the same.
Of course.
But we have a range. So between like 120 to 140, that is normal. Then below 90, let me say from 60 to 90, that is okay. So if you have 140/90, you're normal. But if you start going beyond 140, then there is something wrong. And then one thing people should know is that it's usually the systolic that increases. That is the 140. It's usually the one that increases. Usually the lower one stays the same. So you will check someone who is 158/96. 96 is not bad, but the 158 is actually very, very high.
I think we're going to have another episode where we actually talk about the low blood pressure, because now she had high blood pressure.
Yes.
And now she takes the medication from Dynapharm and it actually goes really, really low. Back to you, Christine. What happened next?
So I was put on alkaline. Immediately I reached the clinic, and after like 25 minutes the doctor kept checking. It was back to normal. It was around 102/70. Then he told me, you go home, you are fine, but don't take the medicine today again. Wait until tomorrow morning, you come, we check, and then you take. Don't take either Dynapharm or Mulago Hospital. So I didn't take. In the morning before taking, I went to him, we checked, and it was normal.
Okay, wait. What do you think caused this sudden drop in her pressure?
Now, the fact that, some of these medications do interact.
Okay.
So the fact that she had taken the Mulago medicine in the morning and then she took the Dynapharm supplements later on, sometimes it can cause your pressure to lower because some of these medicines interact with each other.
Okay.
Yes.
So does that mean that when someone that has high blood pressure comes to Dynapharm, they are going to have to do away with the other medication?
No, that's why we as consultants are in Dynapharm. You come to us, we look at the medicines you're taking currently or you're on, because not every hypertensive patient is on drugs, by the way.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, so you come with us, you come with your medical forms, you share with us the medicines you're on, and we see how we can arrange your schedule on how to combine these medicines.
Interesting. Okay, now to the long awaited. Finally, you are at Dynapharm, you get your medication. What happens next? Because your pressure has been high for how long now? After the stroke, do you still have
it had been high for long? Yeah, that time I was still weak. Walking was a problem. To walk, I used to walk with my daughter around me to help me because this side was so weak. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So when we reached the consultant, he checked me, it was normal. Then I told him what took place and he's like, no, let us reduce. Now you take ye garlic 1, you take ye ginkgo 2. Then liquid chlorophyll, instead of taking 5 ml, 2 of them, take only 1 in a glass of water.
You started off low.
Yeah, so I reduced the what? And since that time, after like 2 weeks, I went back to Mulago for review. And the doctor was like, what did you do? What happened? When they could see the echo result and the ECG result, it wasn't me now, I was okay. I was not paralyzed, I was not feeling pain, I could talk. I used to have swollen feet. For like 2 years, my legs were swelling. To me, I knew maybe entalo. It was pressure. It was the heart.
What is entalo in English?
Yes, I thought it was some, I don't know. So my legs were ever swollen, especially the left leg. It was hard to walk. But then after taking the medicine of Dynapharm, I used to go to Mulago. They once even sent me to Cancer Institute because of the swollen leg. This left one.
This leg was swollen?
This leg was swollen, too swollen. Okay. But ye ginkgo and that liquid chlorophyll, I even don't know how the swelling disappeared because the swollen leg was part of me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it had become normal. Yes, and I accepted. And I didn't want to hear anything of go to Cancer Institute because in my family, people die of cancer. So every time they could tell me, I would say, no, I'm not going. I don't want to hear bad news. But when I started Dynapharm Product, that swollen leg went.
So how long have you been on medication?
Since last year, July. But after finishing the first dose I got from Dynapharm, I haven't taken another dose from Dynapharm. Instead, when I went back to Mulago, they removed all the medicine they were giving me and they gave me one called Lasotan. Moreover, I'm supposed to take 25 ml, but a half of it. Yes, someone who has pressure knows that they are supposed to take Astrovastine or Vabichi, but I take Lasotan. Because I've taken this pressure medicine for some months, they cannot just stop me completely.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. And this pressure medicine I take like 3 times a week. Why? Sometimes when I take it every day, it lowers. I have become fine. All I do is I do exercise, and that advice was given to me from Dynapharm. Yeah, the consultant in Dynapharm told me do a lot of walking, skip the rope, eat little salt. Yeah, he printed some things and guided me what to eat and what not to eat. And so I followed whatever they told me.
Is it, Christine, most of the times when we're given all these guidelines on how to live our lives, everybody starts thinking it's going to be a little bit more expensive to live that kind of life. Is it actually more expensive for you to live that kind of life?
It's the best life, I think, one should live because it is easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does it happen when you're home? Because you're supposed to eat little salt, and then you have people at home. So they put little salt and they add for themselves.
No, we cook and I put it's normal salt. It's not like very little. No, it's normal salt. Only that I cannot add salt in my food.
Oh, you are not allowed to eat raw salt.
It's not that I'm not allowed, but you just get to accept your life, and you get to know that you have to live.
True.
Yeah, and also you don't need to get the other attack again. It is so painful. So at least you try to follow what the consultant has told you to do.
Wow, interesting.
Now when it comes to exercise, exercise becomes part of you. When you don't do it, definitely you're going to feel as if you are missing something. Yeah, so you find me sometimes I can walk from Entebbe coming to town, and it's okay with me. I just put on my canvas.
Okay, wait. Did you just say walk from Entebbe?
Yeah.
I walk from Entebbe.
Yeah, I put on my... It's so sweet, it's so nice. You just can't imagine, but it's good. It's healthy living. Yeah, you just learn healthy living.
I'm still trying to take like
First look at a situation.
Walking from Entebbe to down.
It's very easy.
Carolina. God is good.
So how do you feel? You know how it is? You put on the right shoes. You understand? Put on the right cloth. In fact, that's why most of the time I am in a trouser and simple shoe like this, because I prefer to walk than to board. Where you get even to, especially to us what boarding public means. You are seated, this one is coughing, the other one is sneezing, this one is smelling the sweat, but when I walk, I don't get all these. You understand?
Cathy, how long can you walk? This is matters of personal state. How long can you walk? Let's say from here, brisk, maybe up to internal affairs.
She's good.
Internal affairs. Small now way, small distance. That one I can. Give me a big. You asked me and I you know. Anyway, everybody has their own. Me, I can eat a bucket of chicken. If that is a challenge also, I can eat it.
If you've never fallen sick, I used to love meat. I used to love chicken. I used to love milk like nothing. I used to love all these things, and I could look at it as prestige. No, but you are killing yourself slowly. And at the end of the day, you might die while seated, and they will say witchcrafts when you killed yourself. I used to have the swollen leg just because I hated to walk.